Hello and welcome to The Budget Mouse, a podcast that will help you plan an incredible Walt Disney World vacation, even if you're on a shoestring budget. I'm Leah, the creator of the websites The Budget Mouse and The Frugal South. I visit Disney World many times each year and have tons of tricks for doing Disney on the cheap. I want you to have the incredible vacation you deserve, so I'm sharing all of my tricks with you on my sites and here in the podcast. This week, I'm sharing everything you need to know about PhotoPass and Memory Maker, so let's dive in. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to episode 51. This episode is brought to you by Disney World Made Easy, my online course that helps first-timers plan a Disney World vacation without the overwhelm. You can check it out at thebudgetmouse.com/course. Podcast listeners can save 40% off the regular price by entering coupon code PODCAST, and that's all capital letters, at checkout. That brings the price down to only $11, which is less than the price of a turkey leg at Disney World. Yes, you heard me right. And you can get all of my ridiculously practical videos that will virtually hold your hand as you plan your first Disney World vacation. So earlier this week, I posed a question to the Budget Mouse Facebook group of what do you want to know about PhotoPass and Memory Maker in my upcoming podcast episode? And wow, was I impressed with the questions and a little bit overwhelmed because it turns out there's a lot to know. So photos from the parks have come a long way from the photo you could buy a print of at the end of the ride. You remember back in the 80s how that was? So I'm going to talk about everything photos at Disney World in this episode. I'm going to start with Kristen's question. Is there a difference between PhotoPass and Memory Maker, or two names for the same thing? So it is a bit confusing. PhotoPass is a service provided at Disney World that consists of a few different things. It's professional photographers that are located all over the theme parks, over 100 locations, and at dining locations, who will take professional photographs of you and your family on your vacation. PhotoPass service also includes attraction photos or ride photos that you'll get in certain rides. It also now includes videos from select attractions, magic shots, which have characters and props that are digitally added to your photo, and some brand new effects such as the super zoom magic shots in front of Cinderella Castle. And there's two locations in Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios where there's a camera set way up high on a building and it's able to get a photograph of you and then zoom all the way down in, and it's created in a video. So how does this PhotoPass work? Well, if you have set up a My Disney Experience account, which you will have if you're going into the Disney parks, the photos will show up in your My Disney Experience account. Sometimes it just takes a few minutes after they're taken, and sometimes there can be a delay and it can take several hours. So the way this happens is a few different ways. If you have a magic band, PhotoPass photographers will tap your magic band to a device that they have that then links your photographs to your My Disney Experience account. If you don't have a magic band, they'll ask for your ticket media, and you can tap a card if you have like a hard card to their reader there as well. Or if you don't have either of those, they will give you a little, it's almost like a business card that has information that you can then go later and add into the PhotoPass site that will link those pictures that they just took. So you can buy photo downloads for individual photos if there's one that you really liked from your trip, and those cost $16.95 each. Now, the alternative to that, buying photos individually, is the Memory Maker package. And so this is where the difference between the two comes in. Memory Maker is a package that you buy, and it allows unlimited digital downloads of Disney PhotoPass photos and videos. Now, there's a couple different ways to buy it. The price, if you wanted to start immediately, if you're in the middle of your vacation, you like the pictures that have been taken, and you want to have access to the pictures right away, that costs $199. That's the most expensive. Now, there's an advance price, which is $169, and any photos taken within 3 days from the date Memory Maker is purchased will not be included, and they have to be purchased separately. So this is something you would buy in advance before your trip, at least 3 days before you arrive, and then you'll get a $30 discount on it. Now, the Memory Maker package is included with annual passes. So I have it this year because I have an annual pass, and that's good for the whole year of the annual pass. You'll be able to download anything you want from that whole year that you have the annual pass, but that's only for gold and platinum passes. There are certain Florida resident ones that have restricted dates and what have you, and they do not come with Memory Maker. So you do have to be particular if you want that feature with your annual pass. Now, Jen in the Facebook group said, I don't understand how I buy the daily pass and how you pay for it and it connects to your account. So what Jen is referring to is that this year there became available a Memory Maker one-day option, and that's available to purchase for $69. And you have to have at least one PhotoPass photo linked to your My Disney Experience account before you can buy it. It can be purchased at any Disney PhotoPass center, which I'll talk about in a minute, in the app, or at any Disney World theme park ticket window, and you will have 45 days to download all of your pictures from the day that you started. Next, Stephanie asked how to, if possible, link multiple Magic Bands on different reservations to one Memory Maker. Yes, it is possible, and this is where the real benefit of Memory Maker comes in. So you may view and download attraction photos from up to 25 members of your family and friends list from My Disney Experience who share photos with you during your Memory Maker window. So when you're connecting accounts in My Disney Experience, you'll have an option there in the profile of the person to select if they can see all of your plans or just the plans you share, as well as if they can see your PhotoPass photos. If you have bought the Memory Maker package, you'll need your friends and family to go into their accounts and allow you to see their photos. That means all of the photos that are taken during their trip when they have tapped their Magic Bands will show up in your account, and you will be able to download all of the photos from your trip. When you connect and set up your vacation, whoever is going to purchase the Memory Maker for their account needs to make sure that everyone else in the trip is allowing them access to their PhotoPass photos. And you do that in My Disney Experience. I hope I explained that okay. All right, so Lucia asks, is there anything that I would miss if I don't have a Magic Band? I've heard that in some rides, the photos won't appear if you don't have the Magic Band. You're not required to have a Magic Band to use the Memory Maker, but some attraction photos and videos do rely on it to capture your memories. So from what I can figure, these are the attractions. They include Frozen Ever After, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Slinky Dog, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Enchanted Tales with Belle. I couldn't remember there being a place at the ends of those attractions where you would tap your ticket media to the picture to link it. So that would require you having a Magic Band to get ride photos from those attractions. Lucia also asked how to use it with a large group with no Magic Band. Do we have to scan the ticket like with FastPass? So yes, there are certain attractions, rides, and character meet and greets where you'll scan your ticket card instead of your Magic Band at the end of the attraction or after you have met with the character. And you'll just tap it to a Mickey icon that's there or tap it to the photographer's device that they have. So you are able to link PhotoPass photos to your account without Magic Bands, but there are the certain attractions that you do have to have it to get the automatic ride photos to show up in your account. Speaking of ride photos, Jennifer asked, is there a way or a site to know where in the ride the picture is taken so we can look at the camera? We like to do silly faces. So yes, Jennifer, I actually found a great resource on the Traveling Mom website, and I'm going to share that link to the site in the show notes. But I'm also going to describe them to you right now. So these are all the attractions that have in-ride photos and where they're located. Space Mountain, the camera is at the end of the Star Tunnel. And depending on which track you're on, the vehicle will turn to the left or to the right. And the camera's mounted when you take the turn. So watch, it's always a good idea to watch for the flash in the ride vehicle in front of you to know when they're taking the picture on dark rides, because they will have to flash to get a picture of you in the dark. So on Buzz Lightyear, the ride photo is towards the end of the ride in the room with the giant Emperor Zurg. The camera is mounted on Zurg. On Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, there are a few cameras located on the ride. The first one is towards the left as you go down the first biggish hill, and the second is as you turn at the bottom of the second hill, and it's located above you to the left. And there's also a video you'll get of you riding Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and these only work if you have a Magic Band, but they are really fun. On Splash Mountain, it's located on the left on your way down the big drop. On Pirates, it's near the beginning of the ride. It's when you see the skeleton steering the ship's wheel, you can look to the left. This is a really good attraction to do silly faces on because most people have no idea. This is a really calm part of the ride, and it's usually a picture of everyone just staring straight ahead, looking bored. So it's a great one to do funny faces on. Enchanted Tale with Bells has photos taken throughout the whole attraction, so there's not a certain place to look. But if you are chosen to play a part in the show, then you'll have more photographs of yourself because a lot of the photos from the attraction are taken during the performance. So on Tower of Terror, the photo is taken during the drop sequence when the doors open to give you a view of the park, and you'll see a camera flash, and good luck trying to time that one. That one's quick. On Rock and Roller Coaster, it's taken initially right when the ride takes off, and so those are usually funny photos because you're going pretty fast, pretty quickly. On Slinky Dog, so as you slink over the 4 mini hills, then the ride takes a U-turn to the left and followed by a right turn. And before Slinky Dog starts to turn back to the right, that is where the camera is located on the right side. On Test Track, it's as soon as your vehicle enters the outdoor portion of the ride and you go down a little hill, that is where the camera is. And my daughter, we took her on it, her head was down and all you saw was like her hair just blowing around behind her. So look up, I'd say. On Frozen Ever After, the camera's located as your boat goes down. There's a little drop on that ride. And this is my favorite ride photo ever because the first time I took my daughter on it, she was, 4 or something. And the look of absolute horror on her face. It's so funny, and it's such a tame ride. Everyone else in the ride is just smiling pleasantly, and my daughter's, it's great. Expedition Everest, the photo is during the big drop, and you'll know what that is. That's the only one on the ride. It's right as you go outside from the inside. On Dinosaur, when the dinosaur charges out at you from the right, you can look towards the camera located up and to the right. So it's right above the dinosaur, meant to capture like your reaction to the dinosaur. So again, I put a link to all of that. That was a lot to keep track of, and that you'll find in the show notes, which you can get to on thebudgetmouse.com. You'll see the podcast episode title right there. You just click on that, and then you'll have links to everything I mentioned in the show. Beth asked, I don't get what it means in the parks when it, like in Animal Kingdom, that you can pick up prints as you begin exiting the park. I thought you downloaded the pics they take and print them yourself. So true, you can download the prints yourself and then have them printed at your local Walgreens or wherever you like to get your photos printed. But there are PhotoPass centers in each park and Disney Springs that you can visit if you're having trouble with PhotoPass or if you want to get prints from your pictures that day. They sell frames there as well. And my dad had a very special day at Magic Kingdom with a picture of him with Chip and Dale. And he went to the PhotoPass Center in Magic Kingdom, had it printed out and put in a frame that he could take it home with him as a memory of his day. It was so sweet. So these are the locations of the PhotoPass centers. It's at the Camera Center at Epcot, which is right to the side of Spaceship Earth, the big golf ball when you come in. There is the PhotoPass Studio at Disney Springs, Garden Gate Gifts at Disney's Animal Kingdom, Sid Cahuenga's, I hope I said that right, One of a Kind at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Inside the Town Square Theater at Magic Kingdom. Margaret asked, what is the best way to download all Memory Maker photos at one time from the new site? I just did this on a recent trip where I was traveling with, there were 4 groups of us in total, and I was the one that had Memory Maker on my annual pass. So I was able to select multiple photos to download at once easily on the site, but I had to do it on the desktop desktop, and it was difficult to do in the app or on mobile. So if you are the owner of the Memory Maker package, I suggest you go to My Disney Experience account on a computer and then click on the PhotoPass link in there to go to all your photos, and then you can select multiple or all of them at once and download them. Then it downloads into a zip file. I then uploaded those photos all to a folder in Google Drive, and then I was able to share that folder with everyone who was on the trip, and then they could go in and download what pictures they wanted that they were in. I just got basically every quality photo that was in there, and then they could choose what to do with it. So that's the way I shared, and I'm sure other people have other methods, other ways of sharing. Well, I was also able to download a few at a time to my phone and then text them to them during the trip, and they loved to see that, because if you don't have Memory Maker, all you can view in the app is a photo with a big watermark across it, and you can't make out the photo very well, so they liked to see the nice photos during the trip. Also, I will say you can download a smaller version of it or the full resolution photo if you're going to print a large print. So just know that that is an option. Kate asked, how many days do the photos stay on your account? I heard it is not many, and we are there for 2 weeks. So Kate is concerned she won't be able to download all of her photos. She wants to wait until she's back home. So you have 45 days after the date the photo was taken to download them to your computer. So that shouldn't be an issue, but you don't want to delay once you get home. As soon as you get home, get on your computer and download everything that you want right then while you're still thinking of it. Erin asked, how do I add people to my Disney Experience so they can scan in also? Is it difficult to keep them from interfering with your other plans on My Disney Experience? It is not hard. Just when you are connecting with someone to plan, you'll do it through an email invite them to connect with you on My Disney Experience. And then once they're connected, you can choose whether you want them to be able to see your PhotoPass photos or not, and they can do the same. So they will see all of the photos in your account if you let them see it. Also, you're able to not let them see just your plans. They can only see plans that you share together. So that way they can't interfere with any of your other plans on My Disney Experience. They can't even see them. Another related question I came across is, can friends of friends, people connected to my people in my family and friends list, also see my Disney PhotoPass photos? So no, they cannot. Only guests in your family and friends list who you've allowed access can see your PhotoPass photos online. I can't remember who asked, but someone in the Facebook group asked about the PhotoPass studios. So there are now 3 PhotoPass studios. One is located in Disney Springs, one is at Sir Mickey's in Magic Kingdom, and then there's one at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So these are locations where there's a green screen background set up, just a blank background, and you'll have someone take your photograph in front of it, and then they add virtual backgrounds to it. And I put a picture I took at the Disney Springs PhotoPass studio up on my Instagram account this week, and I asked people's opinions of it because I thought it looked so fake, and I thought, is it just me or is this really fake looking? And everyone commented yes, they agreed it looked really fake. So they're fun. And then someone, Julie Elster of Double Your WDW, shared a really funny one that they had taken at a PhotoPass studio that was on Moana's boat, and they had props of a park map turned upside down, and she was doing the symbol Moana does to find the way with the star. It was so cute. So I think it might just be, your mileage may vary with that. You could get some good ones, or you could get some that look really fake like mine. But it's worth it to give it a try. If you have a Memory Maker package, just drop into one of those places if you have a little bit of time and see what photos you get. You might get some really fun ones. Christina said, our last visit, we had uninspired photographers. They just took standard poses. How do you get the photographers to help encourage pose fun pictures? My suggestion is to always ask for magic shots. There are many locations in the parks now that can do magic shots, and they'll have you do a pose. They'll describe the pose you're supposed to do. Sometimes it's holding your hand out in front of you, and they'll add a character into the palm of your hand before, but there's a lot of other really creative ones that you can do, but they generally won't do them unless you ask. So it's just, as they're taking your pictures, say, are there any fun shots you can do, or are there any magic shots you can do? And that might encourage them to get some more creative and fun pictures. I have heard from some readers before and listeners who couldn't get access to the photo of an attraction when they got home. The photo never showed up in their account. So there is a way that you can report a missing photo online. And there is a link that I will put in the show notes to do that. If you do report kind of the time you rode the attraction, and they sometimes are able to locate the missing photo for you. So last, since this is the Budget Mouse, let's talk about how to cut down on the cost. A question I get asked a lot is it really worth it to buy the Memory Maker package? And it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on how many people there are sharing it, because I have gone in together with a group where there were 3 of us traveling together, and then it ended up only being $50, $60 per group to get access to all the photos. And to me, that is definitely worth it, especially if you're on a longer trip. So sometimes people ask me, I'm only going to be in the parks for 2 days. Is it worth it to get the Memory Maker package? And that's just something you'll have to decide if how important those photos are to you. I will say the PhotoPass photographers are happy to take a photo for you with your own device. And I have had some really great pictures turn out with giving my iPhone to the photographer and having them take a picture on that instead, because there have been times when I haven't had Memory Maker and times where I have had Memory Maker. So if you're really on a tight budget, don't think that you will miss out completely by not getting the package. Just politely ask the photographer to take a picture with your phone, and they are happy to do that. So sharing among the groups is a way that people cut down on the cost a lot. Also, buying in advance, you will save $30. Sometimes it makes sense to buy an annual pass if you are visiting multiple times in 1 year, if you want access to the other benefits of the pass, and then you do get the Memory Maker included. And the annual pass price just keeps going up and up, but it still sometimes may make sense to buy that for all of the features that are included. So there's a link in the show notes to a post that I wrote about how to decide if it makes sense to buy an annual pass. And last, this is something I have never tried, but I know a lot of people have. There are Facebook groups where people will pitch in together to share Memory Maker with people they do not know. I don't know. I know lots of people have done it and they have great success with it. So that is something to look into as well if you really are wanting it and wanted to cut down on the costs. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, everyone. You can find me on Facebook in the Budget Mouse Facebook group. I'm on Instagram at the Budget Mouse. You can find me on both of my websites, thefrugalsouth.com and thebudgetmouse.com. You can always email me directly. I love hearing from listeners. I'm Leah at thebudgetmouse.com. And if you really liked this episode, could you give us a 5-star rating on iTunes? And that would really help people find the show who haven't found it yet. So thanks again, everyone, and have a magical day.